Hello there, welcome to Applied Behavioral Science. So this is our second class, and in case you're not familiar with the format of the class, what we're going to do each week is a little bit of an overview. So in case you want to listen to the material again, you'll be able to watch the video, or if you miss class, or if you're trying to follow the class as a non-registered student. So one of the things we'll be doing in class is taking personality tests. This past week, we took the Myers-Briggs online test. Actually, we took a free version of the Myers-Briggs online test. And then next week, we'll be working on the DISC inventory. So why would you want to take a personality test? The whole class debated, and I think we decided that if we want to understand others, it's probably important to understand ourselves first. And understanding others' personalities helps us to work together with other people. Learn to adapt to working with them, whether it's in a group for class or at work. The first personality test we took was the Myers-Briggs personality inventory. And this is based on psychology by Jung. And it gives you an output of 4 letters that represent you. And each of these 4 letters is one of 2 options between 4 dichotomies. This test, it doesn't really tell you if you're good at anything. It just tells you whether you have a preference to do things a certain way or a different way. So the Myers-Briggs test isn't really used to select people for jobs, but it is used to place people in groups because some people are able to work better with certain personalities than others. The first dichotomy is about how you get your energy, and that's either extroversion or introversion. Extroverts get their energy from the outside world. They are much more talkative, and they dislike silence in conversations. Now, introverts, on the other hand, they get their energy from within. They take an average of 3 seconds longer to answer anyone's question, and they like to think, then respond, and then think again. While extroverts like to talk, think, and then talk again. So you can see how there can be a little bit of a conflict between extroverts and introverts in a group. Now, the second dichotomy is sensing versus intuition. And this has to do with how you take in information. Those who score higher on sensing like details, facts, evidence. They like to know what's real. They like to know the specifics. They're very realistic. They're focused on the here and the now, and they're practical and observant. Intuitive, on the other hand, are those people that like ideas. They like the big picture. They're imaginative, focused on anticipating the future, and they're conceptual. So put these 2 types of people together and you can really see the full picture, because an intuitive person will see the future, the long run, they'll see the big picture, and then those who are more sensing will look at the details. When there's change in an organization, those who scored higher on sensing will look at the past, look at the problem, will want to know the facts, and will want to know how those facts and how that change will solve the problem. Now, those people who are more intuitive will want to know what the end goal of that change is. The third dichotomy is thinking versus feeling. So this has to do with how we make decisions. whether we make them based on thinking or based on feeling. So those who score higher on thinking are more analytical. They use cause and effect reasoning, and they tend to solve problems with logic. Now, those who base their decisions on feeling may appear to be more compassionate, tender-hearted, empathetic, guided by personal values. They understand others' point of view. They seek harmony in groups, and they focus on relationships. So in any organization, for any decision that you make, it's important that you have logic behind everything that you do to appease those people who are more thinking based. But you also need values, and that is more targeted towards those who score higher on feeling. The last dichotomy is judging versus perceiving. And this has to do with how you structure your world, how you approach your life. Okay, so those who score higher on judging, who receive a J, are structured, like organization, enjoy being decisive, and like to follow through with plans. Those who receive the letter P for perceiving are spontaneous and like flexibility. Again, you can see how there can be a clash between J's and P's in a group, where, for example, a J will have everything planned to the last detail and will have a very structured process to arrive at a deadline, where those who score higher on perceiving might delay to the last minute. Okay, enough about Myers-Briggs. Let's head to class.
How's everyone? Yeah? Good? Are you all very well rested? Yeah? Anyone tired? Anyone do something so exciting that you're still tired from the weekend? Okay. So we have some fun stuff planned for today, as always. But just a couple of kind of housekeeping issues, or just a few thoughts. Everyone who doesn't have a name tag yet, have you made yours? Yeah? Okay. Good. And everyone who didn't get a chance to take the Myers-Briggs test, were you able to over the weekend? Yeah? So everyone has 4 letters that represent them. Okay, really good. And was everyone able to bring 3 pens to class? 3 pens, or pencils, or erasers, or anything? Yeah? If you don't have them, I have some extra, so let me know. Okay, does everyone have their 3 pens? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, everyone get up. Let's go. We're going outside. Come on. Is there? So that was a complete failure, but next week we're going to play the name game. Does anyone know how to play the name game?
No.
All you need to know is that you need to know everyone else's names. No. It's not that hard. You already know half of them. So we talked about how each person gets 4 letters from the test. And these are different dichotomies. And this represents what we think, the way we think we are, the way we think we act in different situations. And why do you think it's important to know this? Or do you think it's not important to know this? I don't think it's that important, but if you know, for example, that Livia is an extrovert and that Pauline is an introvert, and we have to work together in a group, what might that mean? What is an extrovert like? What is it? Yeah, communication might be difficult. Why? What is the extrovert going to do? Talk a lot. And what is the introvert going to do? Not talk a lot. Yep. That's good. So the second one is about information and how we gather our thoughts and process information. So there's sensing versus intuition. Who can tell me? Who can tell me what that means? What the differences are? You read between the lines if you're intuitive. And sensing is you take in the information and take it for what it's worth. Okay, so you see something and you accept it the way it is. Intuition is when you derive meaning. Okay. What about decision making? Thinking versus feeling. I think most of the class got feeling, right? Yeah. Who else got F? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's most of the class. Okay. So what does it mean that you make your decisions based on feeling? You're not, yeah, you're not so rational, maybe? Anything else? What about the opposite? What about thinking? What might be a bad, what might be bad about making your decisions based on only thinking?
Because sometimes you have to do things by impulse and the but like you have to think a lot before doing something.
Yeah? And what if...
You create problems before taking decisions, and problems that do not exist, and then you create it, and you start to think more and more, and you don't make anything for thinking too much.
Yeah, you think too much, exactly. What if you really don't consider feelings? What happens? If you only think... You what? Yeah, you're cold. You hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
Right? I think I tend to do that sometimes. And then lifestyle, judging versus perceiving. So, what does that mean?
I think judging will choose between some facts and you will like analyze the facts and then you make decision, and the decision is like decision don't like make the choice between the two. We just say what is.
Yeah, that's a really good description. So now I'm going to give you a scenario. And I want you to tell me how your neighbor would respond and what the differences would be in one opinion and the other opinion, and how you understand that better by understanding their personality type. Okay? Okay, so it's like this. This is you, and this is your partner. And you guys work at the same company. You work at a company that makes soap. Not soap to wash your hands. Anyways, you need to hire a new person. This little girl walks in, and you interview her, and she's really, really talkative. She's very sharp, very smart, but she goes 2 hours beyond the interview time. She talks, like half an hour for each question. So, would you hire her, or would you not hire her? Would you hire her?
Yeah,
Yeah?
because she's smart and she would help out the company, even though she talks a lot. And we just say to her, like, quiet down a little bit.
So you would tell her?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I guess so.
Okay. Would everyone hire her?
No,
No?
we are talking about, we don't need a smart than us. We are the boss.
Right, that's important.
Further, we need a person who hard work. It's good to have some smart people too, smart person to solve company problem. But we need a worker person and
A people's person. Someone that can work well with the team. Do you think she won't?
She thinks she needs someone to work hard for the company, not someone that thinks too much, that's too smart and want to do.
it sounds like a person this person lives in ideal world. They're only projects.
Yeah.
I think this kind of person.
Do you agree? Does anyone agree with that assessment?
No.
Everyone else would hire her. No? No. Why not?
Andrea looked at me and said, "You would never contract a person who talks to us." And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, if you are in a bad day, you would stop the interview and say, 'Stop talking, girl, stop.'" So, I cannot support blah, 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 blah. No. She's smart and I would say, "Oh, you have potential, girl. Try another word."
Okay. All right. So I think we have a split house. The people that would hire her, okay, raise your hand. Yes, want to hire her. Would you do anything about it? Would you say, for example, please don't talk as much? What else would you do? What else could you do in this situation?
I think the situation is a little loud because she's an interview, so she's a little bit nervous. And it makes people like talk too much. I don't think you can judge by one day, like she's smart and she has all.
Yeah.
You can talk to her later.
Great.
I have a suggestion. If you were an inevitable to hire this kind of person, stay alone in your own room and work and speak alone. It's boring to have someone to.
But it depends. She speaks something that is useful and she works as well, because someone that just speaks don't work for anybody. But if she have a good ideas and she wants to make good things for our company, for the people, and she's saying things that you think it's available, that useful, I think that's nice. I would hire her because of that. I like ideas. I not like something new. I think that's what companies today is looking for, some type of new.
I think everyone's right. And that's what happens every day in interviews. Some people are hired and some people are not. Right? Now let's turn it around. Let's say we have a new scenario. We have you and your partner, and there's a girl, and she interviews, but she won't look you in the eye. She's so shy that she You know? Won't look you in the eye. Okay? She's very, very, very shy. And you can barely hear her when she speaks. She speaks, but it's... Okay? What would you do? Go. Over here. What do you guys think? Would you hire her?
We couldn't reach in the village.
No? What's the disagreement?
I would,
Why would you hire her?
because if she's a hard worker and she's smart, I think she could help the company doing things by her own.
By herself.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think she would have problems working in groups or something like that.
Yeah?
So I would hire her.
Any other opinions? Would someone hire her and then ask her to do something differently?
Well, we like someone that cooperates with the group, so we will not hire her because if she can't look in my eyes, how she will interact with other people in the group?
Yeah, like it's basic
Yeah, it's
normal communication again.
Yeah.
Just to look in the eye.
Any area in any company needs to communicate with other people.
Who agrees with them? That you need to have some sort of communication skills?
It's difficult because she might have good ideas, but she can't talk about her ideas. You will not see what she has to show.
Yeah. Might not be able to
Yes.
learn what her ideas are.
It depends on what she's going to do. If she's going to deal with people, we wouldn't get her. But if she's only, if she will only make soup, I think there's no.
Well,
We can contract her because the others, it talks to her, she won't bother the others.
Yeah, that's
Now,
true. She would
If I see that she's only shy and makes soup, I will contract her.
Right. No, that's a very good point. Okay, so who did the reading? You be very honest. Okay? Who did maybe some of the reading? Okay. Who didn't read it at all? Okay. Sounds good. For those of you who didn't read it, you'll get to hear from your peers, from the other students, what they read. Okay, so we're all going to share and talk about it. What did you think? Was it easy to read? Was it difficult? Sort of easy? Do you have any overarching questions? If you have any vocabulary questions, you can ask me at the end of class. So who has read this book before in Portuguese? No one? Really? Who has heard of it? A few people? I had never heard about this book until I took this class a couple of years ago. But my professor said it's the most sold book after the Bible. I think it's true.
More than Harry Potter.
More than Harry Potter. So maybe it was true like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We're gonna look that up later. I'm gonna come back to you on whether that's true or not. So this man right here. This man right here is Dale Carnegie. This was his first book, I believe. But then he kept rewriting. Sold millions of copies. He was a professional leadership coach. He would help people that had problems in their jobs, that were stuck and couldn't get a raise. He would help them try to become better at what they did in all different areas. So, failing to. Okay, perfect. So, he claims on the front of his book that he's going to teach us how to win a lot of friends. Who wants to have a lot of friends? Yeah? And influence people. Everyone wants to influence people, right? So let's learn how. So the first one is how to handle people, how to manage yourself in a group, one-on-one. So he promises he's going to teach us that. How to make people like you. You know, that's important. You don't want to be like the girl that talks all the time. Because most people probably don't like her, right? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she has a lot of friends. To win people to your way of thinking. Why is this important? Say you're having an argument or discussion. It feels good to win, right? It feels good to have your...
You need to convince someone to do something.
Exactly. That's most of what selling things is, right? Most jobs involve selling something. That's how you make money, right? Whether it's a bank account, you're trying to get more customers, you work in a bank, or you sell soap, or you're a professor and you sell what you're teaching. You want people to sign up for your class. It's winning people over, winning people to your way of thinking. And lead the change without offense or resentment. How to do all those things and people still like you.
You have to make your points, but you also have to respect the other ones.
Exactly. And so once we get through the whole book, we will hear what his tips are for us to do all these things. Can anyone read that? It's even better if they love you. And today we're going to look at learning how to handle people, and that's what you read for homework today. Okay? So, who can tell me, you can all read it, but let's go back. Who can tell me the 3 ways to handle people, according to Dale Carnegie?
To be polite, listen more than speak.
Okay. Yeah.
So look at people quietly is not
Yeah.
criticize all the time.
Don't criticize all the time. What else did you read about?
Motivating people.
Which one?
Motivating people.
Motivate
Not
people?
people just say what you do bad.
Yes. Do you like it when people say what you're doing wrong?
Oh, no, nobody likes it.
Nobody likes
I
that.
know.
No? What else?
Don't complain so much. Don't complain.
Not complain. Yeah. This morning, I was complaining so much. I was like, it's so cold. Oh my God, I don't have coffee. And then I was like, whoosh. You know? It sucks. People don't want to be around you when you complain all the time. What else? I think we covered a lot of it. To be receptive. Smile. Yeah, exactly. So, we're going to go through the different stories that he tells. Okay? That's what I like most about the book, is that he doesn't tell you something until the end. He shows it to you by telling stories. Okay? So the first one was don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Okay? So what did he say about animals, or dogs, I think it was specifically? It's the first paragraph that I read.
Behave.
Okay.
Don't punish them when they got bad behavior.
Yeah? What are you supposed to do instead of punishing?
Reward for good behavior.
Reward works. So we do that. I've never had a dog. Has anyone ever had a dog? Do you think that's what you did when you tried to? No? But I think what his point is that if we do this with dogs or cats, why don't we do it with people? Right? So can someone give me a situation, maybe you were the recipient of the complaint, and maybe how it worked out? What happened? I'll give you an example. When I was 8 years old, and I was living in Argentina, it gets very, very, very cold in the winter. And my mother had bought me a jacket in America. And it was really nice. Anyways, I lost it. So my mom got really, really, really angry. She was like, that was expensive, whatever. So we went to the store, and she bought me a new jacket. 2 days later, I lost it. And she told me that I couldn't get a jacket anymore. So I had to go the rest of the winter without a jacket. It was like 2 weeks or something. But still, it was really, really cold. And I was like walking around with a blanket. It was weird and awkward. But I don't think I learned. I don't think I learned not to lose my things. Because later on in life, I've lost many things since. I'm very, very bad at keeping track of my keys, my phone. I've lost my phone like 18 times. There's insurance for phones in America, by the way. You get them for free. But anyways, so that's my story of how to be punished didn't work. Because I never learned, really. I just was really cold for 2 weeks. Does anyone have a story about maybe your parents complaining, or maybe you complained to someone, or you criticized someone?
Well, it's not as my story, but I think that some parents punish their children for bad grades at school, And I think generally, like 1 week without television, I think it's very useless because that doesn't make sense. It's more, you will do better if you give them, I think. I would be so much happier if my parents give me some present or some gifts, like when I get good grades, and punish me when I get bad.
I completely agree. What about for maybe some movies?
First, you must understand why the children did what he did, and don't have the need of to punish.
I say that because my parents never have done that, but some of my friends' parents have done, and with me, it works so much better the way it is that I can't think how it can work. It only let the children to be angry with their parents, and it's better.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's exactly right. Let's look at the next one. Does anyone remember this quote? Who is it? Who said this? You can look. Someone. Good. Yeah, someone said this. Confucius. Yeah, exactly. Says, don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. Does that make sense to everyone? What does it mean? What is Confucius saying here?
It's like before criticizing someone, first look at yourself and see if you have the right to speak.
Yeah. Has this ever happened to you? Where someone said something to you and you're like, you're kidding, right?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, let's look at the next one. Who said this?
Carnegie. Carlisle. I don't know how to spell it, how to pronounce it. C-A-R-L-Y-L-E.
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
Yeah. So, who can read this for me? Natalie, will you read it out loud for me?
A great man shows his greatness by the way he treats little men.
What does this mean? What is he saying? Are there big men and little men in the world? Actually, there are. But, what does he mean? What's the symbolism behind what he's saying?
People who work for you.
Maybe, yeah. Could be people that work that are your subordinates.
Or people you need, maybe.
People in need, yeah, that could be it too. So what does he mean by shows his greatness? How can you show your greatness? What does it mean to treat little people well?
Being humble, not being arrogant.
I can't hear, sorry.
Not being arrogant.
Not be arrogant. Does everyone know what arrogant means?
I think it's very similar to a Brazilian expression. It's like a person who is good to you and not good to the waitress cannot be a good person.
Yeah.
Oh, has everyone heard that?
A person who is good to you is not good to a waitress. It's
Cannot
not.
be a good person at all.
Yeah.
Brazilian expression is very similar to that.
Yeah.
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 I was at a restaurant once. That reminded me. I had just moved. I was making new friends, and I was at a new school. And a girl, her parents were visiting for the weekend, and they invited us to a restaurant for pizza or something. Obviously, I was very excited because that means a free meal. So we go to the restaurant, we sit down, we order pizza, and pizza comes to the table, and the mother of the family is like, she's like, the pizza is not cut. I know, right? And so she makes the waitress come and cut it in front of her, like next to her. She wanted to see that it was well done. And I thought it was the most terrible thing I have ever, it was terrible. The table was silent. It was so awkward. So that girl and I didn't become friends, actually.
I think that's very true because when we see the real greatness of a person, when you see how he treats like all kinds of other persons.
Must treat everybody.
Yes, don't judge anything. I think that's important.
Yeah. Don't judge that you may not be judged.
Yes.
That's another one.
Would like to say my daughter's experience about the granny. When she was a little child, I used to say good morning to teacher, to the director, in the school, to people. You have to say, excuse me, thank you, good morning. So when I was her first class day, she was coming to the school, and she said, good morning to the cleaner. And the cleaner, nem ouviu. Don't pay attention to her. Oh. She was so sad. Mom, because she didn't ask her to my morning. That's why. I use it to say she must say be grateful to everybody.
That's really nice. anyone else have a story?
There is another expression, I think something like, to know someone, you have to give power to her or him. And so, I don't know how to explain that.
If you want to know someone, you have to give power. Oh, because in power, then you know what their personality is really like. That's true. It's like those politicians that seem really nice during a campaign. And you get them to like squash everyone. Okay. Oh, here's a little cartoon. It's really silly. It says, "Are you complaining again? Do you realize that you spend all your time complaining?" And she says, "Why shouldn't I complain?" She's complaining. But anyways, so let's look at the second one of his principles, which is to give honest and sincere appreciation. So now it's the opposite. Let's not complain, and let's instead appreciate, as you were saying. Give thanks to everyone at the school that you're done to. Okay. What did Carnegie say about pigs versus people? He tells a story about his father. Pigs. Yeah, I think, does he call them hogs? Hogs?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so a hog is a pig. This is a hog. Who can tell me the story? Simple words.
Well, father has won some medals for his hogs, and he's like really proud about it, and he shows the people to everyone, but the hogs don't really care.
That's exactly it. So, to his father, winning those ribbons or winning those trophies was really important. It was one of the most important things in his life. He dedicated all his time to making these hogs perfect weight and to show them off at different events where they, judged hogs. Do you have that here in Brazil? Like a pageant where girls walk down. Maybe they have the same wood pigs in America. They have them for dogs too.
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen the dog ones? They have that here?
Yeah.
For cats?
For cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs?
For cows.
Okay, well, America has them for cows, pigs,
Milk.
and where? In
Milk.
Ribeirão Preto.
There are a lot of other events.
Yeah. They have them for horses. Anyways, so why is it that his father cares and the pig does not care?
The father has the desire to be great. He wants to feel that he's important, and the pig doesn't care.
He just doesn't care. He doesn't have that same desire. He also tells a short story about runaway brides. Has everyone seen that movie? It's a really good movie.
I remember that she was scared to be unhappy in marriage.
She run away.
I saw it many years ago. I don't really
I
remember.
always see. I have the DVD and I always see.
You always watch it?
Yeah, I watch it since I have 8 years.
Since you were 8 years old? Cool.
It's amazing.
What does Carnegie say about runaway wives?
He tells a story that a wife, he told to her husband to say some things that he doesn't like on her. And yeah, negative things. And he answered to her that he likes her the way she is. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that really nice? So did everyone hear that? Did everyone? So, a woman asked her husband, tell me, how many of them? Six things that you don't like about me and that you would like to change about me. This woman told her husband. And so he said to her, give me a minute, I'm going to think about it, and I will get back to you tomorrow. I will tell you tomorrow. So she goes off, he goes off, and he thought about it, and he thought, there are many things that I don't like about her, okay? And there are many things that she doesn't like about me. But why should I tell her? So instead, he calls the florist, sends her flowers, and says, I love you the way you are.
Sent 6 flowers.
6 flowers?
6 flowers.
6 flowers.
When she asked me to.
And, what was I going to say? Yeah, so he recognized that criticizing wasn't going to help. That she was always going to be the way that she was. They had been married for many years. And it was better to compliment. It was better to send roses. Because that night, he showed up, and there was dinner, and it was really good, you know? So it was much better to compliment than to complain or criticize this. I think it was Andrew Carnegie that said this. There's nothing else that so kills the ambition of a person as criticisms from superiors. I think it was Andrew Carnegie. Someone check that? It's like page 4, page 3. Let's say it was Andrew Carnegie, who was one of the richest men in America. Was it Charles Schwab?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Charles Schwab, also one of the richest men in America. And he also says, be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. What does it mean? What does approbation mean? It's a big word. To approve, to say, to compliment. Be hearty, like hearty, be truthful in your compliments. And lavish, what is lavish?
Like show. And demonstrate. So.
Oh, to show. Yeah, to show in very large quantities. Lavish in your praise. Praise for someone that's doing something good. Praise them a lot. Say, like, wow, this is amazing. Wow, this is wonderful. That's going to help you a lot more than criticizing the small things that they're doing, right? Okay, and last one. To arouse in the other person an eager want. Okay? Are we okay with all those words? No? Arouse? What does it mean to arouse? To arouse, to like create in them, inside a person, to create. To arouse in that person interest in someone else. a guy that wants to, have a girl be his girlfriend arouses an interest in her, okay? And the other person, an eager, you really want to, an eager want. Can anyone explain eager better than me? To be eager to do something is when you are very willing and you really want to do something. Really, 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 really want to. It's a good example. Anyway, so to make the person want to do something. That's what this says. Okay? Here, we'll look at some examples. So this I took from the text. Okay, what was this letter that you read? It was on the last page.
It's a letter that a woman who was going to go to another city lives, and she used to work in banks, and she needs to get a new job in this new city. So she writes this letter and sent to a lot of banks in the new city she was going to move, talking about what she would improve in the banks and that she needs to work there.
So, in Brazil, when you apply for a job or an internship, do you write letters?
No.
No? So, in the US, at least, you send your resume, your curriculum, and you write a letter. It's called a cover letter. A letter that covers your curriculum. So it's 2 pages. So this is what this is. And normally, a cover letter says something like, I am fantastic, I do great things, I will be wonderful for you, things like that. I. But here, she writes about how they will do better with her at the company. And that's why it's successful. Okay, the banks had an eager want to hire her because she wrote this in a way that they are able to understand, that they can understand where she fits in and how she will improve things at the bank. Makes sense? We'll go over it in the next few classes, because Dale Carnegie gets more specific about how to do this and in what scenario. But I want to move on. Okay, so I just really quickly wanted to. Okay, I wanted to present to you a book that we're going to not read, but be involved with in this class. So 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And we're not going to read it. It's not going to be your homework, but you're going to be divided into 7 groups. And each group is going to present 1 habit. Okay? So that's going to be one of your biggest responsibilities in the class is this group presentation. Okay? So these are his habits, and today we're going to divide into groups. Okay? And then maybe next week we'll choose what the habits are. So be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand, synergize, and sharpen the saw. So we're going to do this very randomly. Okay? I want you to meet other people in the class, not always the person you sit next to, because the person you sit next to is probably your friend. Okay? So this is how random it's going to be. we're going to count to 4. Okay? And when it gets to 4, we start at 1 again. So, perfect. Please, please, please try to remember your number. And on the way out, you're going to tell me your number. Okay? Awesome. So you write down, remember how last class we wrote something at the end?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do the same thing every class. Okay? So in total you're going to write 10 times. We're going to write one lesson you learned today. So, for example, we talked about not complaining. So you can write, I learned that complaining sucks. My friends don't like it when I complain. One time, I complained a lot, and someone told me to shut up. Okay, so just write me a paragraph about something you learned and how you're going to apply that lesson outside of class.